The first card you have for your past is the Magician. I love this. This is a fantastic card. Now, I'm actually seeing planning. I'm seeing planning. So you're probably planning, or you were probably planning for something that you wanted to manifest, that you wanted to do. And, okay, I know this sounds a bit strange. I'm actually seeing a bubble. There's a bubble. It's like a thing that's kind of sitting in front of you. It's sitting right there. It's kind of sitting in front of you, and it feels like you're waiting. You might be waiting for it to burst so that it can get out of the way, or you might be waiting for it to push it out of the way. It actually feels like you've got this bubble in front of you, and it feels like you're looking at one side, around the side of it, you're looking over the top of it, you're trying to look around it. And what's at the other side, I think, is something that you want, a whole lot of things you want. Yeah, it feels like there's a lot you want to do. It feels like you're kind of in this limbo state. And it's almost like you could see there was another life actually behind there, behind this bubble. Yeah, I'm seeing a place here. I'm literally seeing traveling. So yeah, there's definitely somewhere you want to go. It feels very different to where you are now. And yeah, you're planning for this, I think. Yeah, I keep on seeing this bubble, and it's right there. It's right in front of you. So, it's obviously you're in this limbo. You're waiting for something to get out of the way, or you want to get past a roadblock or something so that you can go on this journey. And literally there is a travel journey here, but there are also other journeys here, other things you want to do, actually there's some really exciting things that you want to do, but it feels like you have to wait. Now, this bubble is going to go away. The roadblock's going to go away. I think you know that. I think it's just a matter of time. And that's the assurity of having the Magician there. Because when you've got the Magician, you manifest something, you put it out there, and you know it's going to happen. You have to have that self-assuredness. You have to know that that's going to happen inside yourself before it actually does. So I think you know that that's going to happen in time. I think when you do eventually travel, I'm seeing two other people here in this traveling. So they might be coming with you, or you might be traveling to see them. Yeah, I'm just getting this, one of these people, it feels like one of these people really needs you. There's some loneliness around them. There are a few problems. So yeah, there are a lot of different reasons why you want to make this trip or do this traveling or go to wherever this is. I'm seeing some money around this as well. So, saving. So, I think you're either in the process of saving to do this, or maybe you've already saved quite a lot. Because there's this planning, there's this preparation around this. But, if you're thinking something like, oh, there's this big roadblock there, this big bubble, I can't get around this, just know that, you've got the Magician. Just picture this card in your head if you do have any doubts, because when you've got this, you can absolutely manifest this. You can manifest anything you want, absolutely. So just know, you've got the Magician. You've got the Magician. When you have doubts, just say, yep, I've got the Magician. I can do this. I'm also getting this, okay, it's trying to communicate. You're trying to communicate with someone, I think. I'm seeing a love connection here. It just feels like you're saying something, you're saying the same thing over and over again. And yeah, they're not listening. They're not listening. They're not understanding you. Just if this is happening to you, just know it's not you. It's not you. I just want to tell you that because, you're very easy to understand. I think you explain things clearly. I'm seeing a lot of clarity here. So, I hate to say this, but if they can't understand clear communication, they might be deliberately misunderstanding you. They might even be ignoring you, which is really horrible if that's what's happening. Yeah, there are definitely a lot of problems around them though, so there's a lot on their mind, so there might be that as well. But they are avoiding talking to you. It feels like there's a secret. It feels like there's something a bit secretive here as well. But yeah, if this is you, whatever this is about, it's not you. Don't blame yourself for these communication problems. That's what I'm seeing quite clearly. They're struggling with whatever it is, whether it's deliberate, whatever, but it's not you. So don't blame yourself. That's what I'm getting now. Okay, so the next card you have for your past, the King of Swords. So, yeah, swords can be about words again, communication. So this is this communication problem. And, obviously he has his sword up, he has his guard up. So they're a bit guarded. So there's that as well. There's a lot of communication coming from you. And it feels very calm. You're not agitating them, you're not nagging them or anything like that. So if you're in a relationship and, if this is resonating with you, there's another bubble here as well. It's like a barrier between the two of you. So there's this bubble, maybe this is a speech bubble, and but it's only coming from you. It's only coming from your side. There's no speech bubble coming from their side. So it's all on your side, and they've kind of got their guard up, or they're not listening or something. I think you had some problem you wanted to discuss, I think, and I think you were looking at this quite logically, like this king, he's very logical. But you just wanted to get to the bottom of this. You wanted to get to the bottom of this issue. You wanted to get past this. And I think to you, getting to the bottom of this problem and getting past this thing meant freedom to you, because there's a butterfly here behind this king's head, and that's a symbol of freedom. So there's a lot of waiting for freedom. There's a lot of waiting for roadblocks to pass, things to pass, so that you can get things done or do things. I'm actually seeing a date here. It's like a day. So it looks like you might be waiting for this day to be over, maybe. Maybe this is a difficult date ahead for this love connection. Maybe it's a difficult anniversary for them or something sad that happened, or something quite hard. So it might be that you're waiting for that to be over before you talk to them about this again. So yeah, it might be that. But yeah, it's still seeing this communication block here. But again, I just want to say to you, it's not you. You're being very clear. You're not being a problem. You're just trying to talk to them about something. That's what I'm seeing now. Okay, so the last card you have your past is the Four of Swords. So yeah, more swords, more words here again. Okay, if you look at this statue in this card, obviously he's lying down, and there's a sword that's lying beneath him, under him. You might not be able to see it. I'll just lift it up so you can see. So there's this sword, and it's just under him. So what that says to me is, you'd had enough of this conversation, and it looks like you were just shelving this. It was like you were just burying this down beneath you for a while, under you, and just putting it to rest, having a rest, which is what this card's about, and just putting it aside, or burying it beneath you, I should say, while you kind of just took a break from this whole subject. It feels very draining, very tiring anyway. So yeah, this is a temporary break, because if you look at this card again, he still has these swords hanging over his head. So there's still this subject, or whatever this is, that you still want to talk about, that's buried under there, but it still needs to be spoken about. So, when you wake up, when he wakes up from this rest, the problem's still going to be there. But, I keep on looking back to the Magician. So, if you want to get through this communication problem, or anything else you want to get through, you absolutely can with the Magician. You can do this. He's got all these tools in front of him. So, it might be that you have to look at some different tools, or look at some different ways of communicating, maybe, to be able to solve this problem. I don't know. But, the Magician thinks in unique ways. That's a part of what makes him so successful. So yeah, that's just something to think about. Maybe kind of resting on this and then thinking, well, how can I do this in another way? How can I go about this in another way that's going to kind of solve this problem? So yeah, just something to think about. Okay, so the first card you have for your presents, Justice. Right, so yeah. Okay, so you've got this, and you've got the Devil under this. So yeah, there's no other way to say this. I'm just going to come out and say this. There's something you don't know, and it's going to come out. It's going to come up to the surface. I don't know how serious this is. It might not be that serious, but it does feel like a shock. It does feel like something negative with these two cards together. I have to say that. That's what I'm seeing. If you're in a relationship, or even if you're not, or even if you're just talking to someone, it might be a friend, it might be a relative. There's some kind of love connection between you and this person that this is about. I am seeing love here, but it's some kind of love. Now, there's a problem that's coming up. It feels like it's around money. It looks to me like it's linked to your partner's past, or whoever this person you love. It's linked to their past. It might be something like debts that are catching up with them. It might be something small. It might be something like owing someone a small amount. It does feel quite serious to me again, because you've got the devil here and this together. If they do owe money to someone, it's not about the amount. And I think that's how you feel about money and borrowing money. You're very straight when it comes to money, straight up and down. I can really see that about you. Very organised, very straight, very straightforward. So, even if it's a tiny amount that's owed, it's not the amount. It's about honouring a promise. And that's how it is to you. That's what I'm getting. So if that's what this turns out to be, even if it's small, whatever it is, it's really going to bother you. It's really going to bother you, because I think it goes against who you are as a person at your core. You're all about being straightforward. That's what I'm getting. So this is really going to shock you about this person. It's going to be like, I didn't know they could do that. I'm seeing them in a whole new light. That's what I'm getting. And so, yeah, there's this curtain behind this woman in this card, and it's going to come down. You're going to find out what this is. Now, to them, this is what I'm seeing coming from them. It feels like they've moved on from this. They've moved on from their past. They've moved on from this time in their lives when they did this, whatever this is. Now, it is going to catch up with them. That's what I'm seeing everywhere here. It's going to be revealed to you. And you've got the devil here. So I'm going to talk about this devil now. So the devil's showing me that, it might actually be quite serious. It might be something like debts that have been ignored, and the money's piled up, and then something very serious has happened. It turns into a huge amount. It feels like someone's tried to push this under the surface, and kind of now it's piled up, and it's coming to get them. Again, I think this is linked to a time in their past, a time that they don't want to think about anymore. It really feels like they were stuck in some kind of some kind of bad situation, and maybe they did what they did, whether that was borrowing money or whatever it was, to get out of this. It doesn't feel like anything malicious was happening. It doesn't feel like they were hurting anyone. Whatever this is, they did make some really bad mistakes. That's really obvious. And they were chained to those mistakes, like these poor people on this card are chained. And this money, it looks like maybe they borrowed this or something to try and escape the situation. There was a reason why they had to do this, or they felt as if they had to do this. And I keep on seeing them wanting to bury this. They wanted to bury this. They wanted to forget about this whole thing. It belongs to their past. But you can't do that. These things catch up to you quite often. It feels like desperation to me, actually. It actually makes me feel a bit sorry for them. I know they should have faced up to things. I know that, but they're going to have to now anyway, from what I'm seeing here. They are. It's going to come up. So, whoever this is, whether this is a love connection or not, whether this is just someone you're close to and you care about, there's some love here in some form between you and them. They're a huge part of your life. That's why this is all coming up for you here. It really affects you. It really affects you. It might just be emotionally that it affects you. It might be that it affects you financially. If it's a love connection, if it's a relationship, if it's a marriage or something, you might have joint finances with them. It might affect that, if it is that. So yeah, very, very difficult thing for me to see and to say, but I have to tell you what I'm seeing. So yeah, it's going to come out. You're going to know what this is, if this is about you. Okay, so the last card you have for your presents, the Ace of Swords. Okay, yeah. Again, I have to tell you what I'm seeing. It's not easy for me, and if this is you, it's not easy for you, obviously. This can be about litigation, sometimes, not always. But because I've got this here, I've got the Justice card, I've got the Devil, I've got the Emperor over there, which can be about regulations, rules, military, police sometimes. So you've got this, the Devil, Justice, and the Emperor. And now you've got this. So it says litigation to me because I'm seeing this whole thing together. It might not be, but that's what it's starting to look like to me, or something like that. Now, this can also be about writing, documents, letters. So I think a letter might come in about this. It's probably going to be an official letter if what I'm seeing here is correct. Now, I know this sounds really, really stressful, and it will be, but I don't want you to stress too much about this. I want you to kind of remove yourself slightly from this. I know you love this person. I know you care about this person. I know you probably want to help this person. I know this is stressing you out. You're probably going to be angry, all kinds of emotions. But really, it's their problem. It's their issue. I know you care about them. It is going to affect you. But there are going to be times where it might be a little bit too much, and you're going to have to step back and say, okay, it's their problem. They have to deal with this. I have to deal with this emotionally or whatever, but I'm going to put things aside and I'm going to make them deal with that. So that's kind of what I'm getting there. And I think if you do that, that's going to lessen the stress for you, if this happens to you. So so I think if this letter arrives, and even if it doesn't, you'll know about this in some way. And yeah, it all sounds really horrible, I know, but I think this is actually going to bring a lot of new communication in for you. It might even open up more things that they might want to tell you about their past. It might be that. And so better that you know that than not, even though this is coming from a difficult time. Excuse me, I just had a crock in my throat. I don't know what that, what's a crock? I don't know. So, so if this all happens, obviously you're not going to be happy, but I'm seeing you communicating a lot more after this, and I'm seeing them listening a lot more and talking a lot more, which is a problem you were having in the King of Swords, I think it was. So, you might even put your heads together and work on a solution, which is what this card can be about sometimes. One side of the sword, another side of the sword coming together with this crown in the middle, which can be, going upwards, moving upwards. So that might be what's happening. And again, this is about writing. So you might be going through forms together. You might be writing letters together. I don't know. But I am seeing a horrible situation bringing two people together after a great big storm. But yeah, it might take time for you to get to that state because this is very difficult. And of course, it's all up to you. The choices are all up to you. You might want to help them. You might not. You might want to leave. I don't know. It's up to you. But I'm just telling you what I'm seeing in these cards. Okay, so the first card you have for your futures, the Emperor. So yeah, whether you help this person or whether it's all down to them to fix this all by themselves, it is going to take a lot of really rigid discipline to get to the end of this. It might be that they set up a budget and they pay off a certain amount. It might be, I'm getting this feeling of being watched, actually. I know that sounds horrible and creepy, but I am getting that. So it might be that they're monitored in some way, or, they might have checks put on them to make sure they do things or pay things, or they're kept in line, or it's something like that. It does sound quite serious. This probably sounds a bit harsh, but I think if they were burying serious things and they were trying to get these really serious things and they left a big mess behind them, this is actually a really good lesson for them. It's like a karmic lesson. And sorry, there's so many cars going past right now. And because I don't have a microphone, you can probably hear everything. But I'm doing my best, I really am. Karmic lessons. So I think this is something they had to learn. This is something they had to do. It does feel like they left the worst of this behind. They left the devil behind. But, if they didn't clean up the trail between them and the devil, if you leave a trail behind you, he can come back and find you, and I think that's what's happening now. Now, I know this is your reading and not theirs. I know this situation's all over this, but again, this is someone you care about, someone who's really close to you. It feels like you're around them daily. So this is going to have a huge impact on you. It's going to impact on you quite heavily in a lot of different ways, I think. So that's why this is coming up for you. Because a lot of people say this in my readings. Why are you talking about other people? Well, you have other people surrounding you and they all impact on you, relationships, all kinds of things. So of course I'm going to talk about other people. Anyway, I'm not going to go off. I'm not going to be an Aries in this reading. And I'm saying this when I'm looking at the Emperor. So, I think if this does all happen to you, when you've gotten over any anger, upset, I don't know I do not live on a racetrack. Oh my goodness. Do you mind? Really? Okay, go away. Right. I'm really sorry about that. So I think when everything calms down from this, you might not want to hear this when you're really angry, but it just feels like you're the right one to be around them when this all comes out, if that makes sense to you. Because I don't think they had a lot of stability around them in the past, especially if the devil's in their past. They had a lot of problems in their past, but they're around stability now. So you're the stability for them. I've seen this in your readings before. You're the stability in the relationship. So that's what I'm seeing again here. So yeah, if you do decide to help them and stick with this, I think, you're the right person to do that. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just saying that, if you do, that'll really be good for them because they haven't had that around them before. I can't believe this noise. I'm so sorry. I'm not going to do this again because I never edit these. I never do this. I just do it start from finish. I can't believe this. This is ridiculous. Okay, hold on. Go away. Oh my goodness. I don't know what's going. I don't know what that is. That's absolutely ridiculous. And it's dragging this reading on. See, I just have to laugh because this is crazy. And this is a really serious reading as well. I'm so sorry. Okay, so right, now that that's over, the next card you have, this is crazy. The next card you have for your futures, the Three of Pentacles. I'm laughing because it's so ridiculous. Okay, so this is here again. This is this situation here again. We've got money with the Pentacles. We've got working together as a team around money. And yeah, it's just everywhere here. This can also be about loans, asking for a loan. So it's really clear here. Someone's borrowed some money and now you're working as a team to fix that. It might not be you. They might be working with someone else as a team, but that's what I'm seeing here, that you'll probably work with them. Now, okay, I don't want to say any more about this because this silly noise has dragged this on and everything's dragged this on now. But if any of this resonates with you, if this is happening to you, it's probably hijacked pretty much everything in your life, or most things. This is the kind of situation that just takes over everything in your life. So if you're coping with this right now, you deserve a huge medal or something. You're really amazing for coping with this. And I do as well, because this noise has come back again. I can't believe this ridiculous reading. I'm not going to stop this. I'm not going to edit this. I'm not going to do this again, because these messages are important for something, or someone, I should say. You see what I mean? This is what happens. I'm going to keep going. The last card you have for your future is the Hermit. Yes, we are all professional at this channel. Okay. Not. Okay, so this is the Hermit. Obviously, this is about being by yourself, resting, meditating, which is what I need to do after this reading. So, I was seeing this at the start of this reading. I was seeing the Four of Swords, the rest and all that kind of thing. And also, you're usually a really calm person. You deal with things in a really efficient, really organized, calm way. This is very, very stressful, obviously. So the message here is take some time out. That's the message here. Again, you had the Four of Swords, and that was about a kind of pause in a conversation before you're able to open up more conversation. You're having a struggle with conversation, you're having a rest, and you wanted to open that up again. But I think by this time, that conversation is all out, it's all happened, it's all out in the open. More things are out in the open as well. Maybe you're getting more communication than you wanted, because be careful what you wish for with the Magician. But this is total isolation. You know, decompressing everything and just getting back to yourself, getting back to your calm self.